Hello everyone, I'm Joel and I'd like to welcome you to another grainy film adventure. I just wanted to throw up a really quick short video. I have a roll of Candido 800 here and a roll of Ilford XP2, and these were the 14th rolls to go through a 16 roll C-41 kit by FlicFilm. This is their 3-bath kit that has a separate bleach and fixer, and I turned it into a 4-bath kit by adding a stop bath into it as well. So the results from yesterday's development were fine, but that kit is approaching a month old. It's 2 rolls from being kind of spent, and I want to run a quick snip test to make sure it's going to give me good results before I run a roll of Cinestill 800T in medium format through it and don't get good results, especially since that is for a video. So let's see how to do a quick snip test. All right, we are over at my kitchen sink and we're just gonna run a quick snip test. I like to run my snip test with my chemicals at temperature, so they are in the water bath and the developer is up to 39 degrees Celsius, which is the temperature I run this FlicFilm kit at. I'm gonna take a tiny little beaker. You could do this with a shot glass or a coffee cup or whatever you got. I'm gonna put some developer in this and I'm gonna drop a little snippet of film. This is just off, the cats are freaking out. This is just off the leader of the 800T. So all you need is a little piece of film that has been fully exposed to light. We'll drop that into that developer. We'll set a timer for 3.5 minutes and we'll pull it out. And if this is pure solid black, then we know that our developer is still good. And I will be comparing that to a bunch of film snips here. These are the ends of the leaders from all the rolls I developed through this particular kit. I hang them up on the window and I can compare how the kit is performing through each one of those leaders by looking at them. I'll show you what that looks like. So I just keep all the leaders on the window and then I can just look through them and see what the film base looks like and what the exposed portion of the leader looks like to make sure that my film is still looking good as I go through the kit. All right, even though I am just running a quick snip test, I am gonna wear full PPE when I do this because I don't wanna risk any kind of chemical exposure, especially to my eyes. So I'm gonna be pouring some 39-degree Dev solution in here. You can see it's pretty dark. We'll get that back into the bath. And then we're just gonna drop this little snippet of film in there and we're gonna set a timer for 3.5 minutes. I think the main reason my Dev solution is that dark is not just that it's a little bit spent and reaching the end of its life, but that mystery film, that Vandal 400T, did not have all of the remjet removed from it. And at the bottom of my Dev solution bottle, there's a little bit of remjet. You can see little black particles down in the bottom there. I poured it all into a giant flask just to take a look at what it looked like, and there was a bunch of sediment in the bottom. So there's yet another reason not to use Vandal 400T. Sorry Vandal, but you got to do better. All right, our 3-minute and 30-second timer just went off, so I'm just gonna fish this little piece of film out of here. I'm gonna wash it under running water for about 30 seconds or so. All right, we got our snippet out of the Dev solution and we ran it under cold water for a little bit. You can see that it is opaque black. We can't really see through it a whole lot. And if we hold it up to the light here, you can see that it is slightly opaque, but it is black. And if we compare that to leaders from the beginning of this particular Dev tank, we'll see that we have a very similar appearance. So here is another leader. It's a little bit more clear because this was just leader that was exposed when I pulled it across the camera, whereas this leader was sitting outside the film can the entire time. But I'm gonna call that a successful snip test and we'll run that roll of Cinestill 800T and 120 through the tank. Then we'll run another snip test just to see if it can handle 1 or 2 more rolls. I've got 3 more rolls to develop in the fridge, so I'm kind of hoping to stretch this kit out until I get all those developed. All right, I just pulled the Cinestill 800T and 120 out of the Dev tank. This was the 13th roll to run through that FlicFilm kit. And we just did a snip test and it looked like everything was okay, but let's see how the film actually turned out. Oh yeah, that's really cool looking. Okay, here are the results of that Cinestill 800T, and as you can see, they look fantastic. These pictures are from a place called the Hemi Hideout outside of Houston. It is full of, it's more neon and antique cars and antique gas pumps, and there's a diner in there and just all kinds of stuff. It's amazing. The architecture is amazing. So these are for an upcoming video that'll premiere sometime in mid-September. So keep an eye out for that. But as you can see, the negatives turned out great. So this, I was a little bit wrong about the numbers in the video. I pulled up the spreadsheet, and it turns out this is a great time for us to kind of follow up the video on the FlicFilm C-41 kit. I'll put a link at the top of the video to that real quick. You know, over 5 weeks, I was able to get 11 rolls of 35mm, 1 roll of 120, and 4 4x5 color negatives out of this kit. So I give it 2 thumbs up. I would absolutely buy it again. The only thing I would say is that I prefer it with a stop bath. So you could mix up your own stop bath with vinegar. There's plenty of videos about how to do that, but if you want me to show how to mix up a stop bath, let me know in the comments below, and I'll mix up some stop bath and show you how to do that. But the process would be, for me, wash the film for 1 minute to get any of those chemicals out. A lot of times when I dump out that wash, it comes out some funky colors, and that also warms the film up and gets it ready for the developer. So then I run my developer, I run a stop bath, I rinse 3 times, I run my bleach, I rinse 3 times, I run my fixer, I wash for 5 minutes, soak it in photo flow for a minute, and hang it up to dry. So with that process, this kit has worked out really well for me, and I would absolutely use it again. I just got the new Kodak Eastman C-41 at-home kit, so we'll be trying that out with a lot of the film that I bring back from my trip to Alaska, which is coming up soon. So stay tuned for that. Like, subscribe, and hopefully you'll see a video next Friday at the same time. And until then, I hope you have fun going on your own adventures.